I repeat, at the same time, it has to be recognized that things happened during the emergency in a manner which alienated the people from the Congress organization and the government. The Congress will fully ensure the democratic functioning of the party as also the evolution of collective leadership within the organization. Number 5. What is now important is to utilize the present opportunity for self-introspection and revitalize and strengthen the Congress organization. This can be done only by going back to the people, particularly to the poor and the downtrodden, in humility, sincerity, and earnestness. Number 6. This is not a time for mutual recrimination. What is needed today is unity in the Congress backed by discipline and clarity of goals. It is this great and challenging task that is before us. Number 7. We rededicate ourselves to strive for the realization of our national objective for which the Congress has always stood. They are national integration, democracy, and socialism. To these we are irrevocably committed. The common endeavor is to build a strong and united India and bring about social transformation by consent and involvement of the people. The social objective is to remove inequalities and improve the left of the people, particularly the weaker sections of the society. As responsible opposition in Parliament, we shall offer constructive cooperation to the Union government to serve the national purpose and the interests. This role as an opposition party casts a heavy responsibility on us to safeguard the interests of the people, particularly of the poor, the oppressed, and the minorities. We should not hesitate to take up the cause of the people, resist injustice, and work for the legitimate rights of the people. Page 290. Number 8. States where we are in government should vigorously pursue the implementation of our election manifesto and ensure clean, just, and effective administration. Number 9. Congress Working Committee notes with alarm the trends in the ruling coalition at the center to start a process of destabilization of the state governments under one pretext or other. If constitutionally established governments are toppled by the ruling coalition at the center, it would be purely for political advantage for them to go to polls on the basis of premises only and not on the basis of performance. This would lead to confrontation instead of national reconciliation for which we stand. Number 10. We can best fulfill the historic role of Indian National Congress by recapturing the spirit of service to the people and being sensitive to their feelings, aspirations, and needs. Source: The Encyclopedia of the Indian National Congress, Volume 24, pages 264 to 266. Corrections. Page 282. The last sentence at the end of the first paragraph. The word unanimous is unanimous. Unanimous. inadvertently pronounced as unanimous. On page 286, the last sentence in the second last paragraph, the word secmities is perhaps a misprint. Perhaps it should be securities. I repeat the sentence. I may also mention that the government intends to utilize the proceeds of the national securities for projects of high social priority, like slum clearance and housing for low-income groups. Page 291, Appendix 9, Resolution of the Congress Working Committee on the Home Minister's statement asking for the dissolution of Congress-led state assemblies, 19 April 1977. The doctrine of sovereignty enunciated by the Home Minister is wholly out of place and out of date. Sovereignty. I repeat, the doctrine of sovereignty enunciated by the Home Minister is wholly out of place and out of date. Even in UK, there is no instance in modern times of the sovereign attempting to dissolve Parliament without or against the advice of the ministry. The conventions governing the exercise of the prerogative power of the King in the United Kingdom to dissolve Parliament are now clearly established, and there are no exceptions to them. These conventions are: A. The sovereign should dissolve Parliament when advised by the Prime Minister to do so. B. The sovereign should not dissolve Parliament unless advised by the Prime Minister to do so. C. The Prime Minister has the right to choose the time of the dissolution within the 5-year period prescribed by the Parliament Act 1911. This power of timing is a weapon of great political importance in the hands of the government and especially of the Prime Minister. D. If the government is defeated in the House of Commons, in a question of policy, the government must either ask for a dissolution or resign. Page 292. Apart from this, ours is a written constitution envisaging a federal structure. The power of the president or the government, I repeat, or the governor to dissolve the assembly is specifically provided for in the Constitution, and there can be no other ground on which the President could dissolve the Assembly. The source of this power is the Constitution and the Constitution alone. As pointed out by the Leader of the Opposition, Sri Y.B. Chavan, in his statement, In a written federal constitution such as ours, the center and the state are fully competent to function within their respective spheres. To argue that when every time elections to the parliament are held, the state must automatically fall in line with the result is totally untenable. Instances can be cited in the past when the verdict of parliamentary elections was completely in favor of a party opposed to that of the state government. For example, in 1971 in Karnataka, the Indian National Congress won all the 27 seats. At that time, the ministry in Karnataka was headed by Sri Virendra Patil of Congress O. Similar situations had risen on 1971 and even earlier in other states. Nobody raised the question at that time that the state government had no legal or moral right to continue in power. The only ground on which the assembly could be dissolved or the state government dismissed would be under the provisions of Article 356. That is to say, if the conditions in any state are such that the state government cannot be carried out, I repeat, cannot be carried on in accordance with the provisions of the Constitution. The position does not exist in any of the 9 states. Therefore, the question of dissolution does not and cannot arise. 2 factors cannot be dismissed from the minds of the people while dealing with the statement of the Home Minister. A. The presidential election is to be held by the middle of August, and the state assemblies which they are seeking to dissolve are important electoral colleges for this election. B. The central government has already introduced a bill in the Parliament for the reduction of the life of the present state assemblies to 5 years. Page 293. It will not be wrong on the part of anybody if he were to suggest that the motive of the central government to dissolve the 9 state assemblies simultaneously at this juncture is A. To affect vitally the coming presidential election, B. To bypass the constitutional amendment which has been introduced in Parliament. The charge that is, I repeat, the charge that this move on the part of the central government is politically motivated cannot be brushed aside lightly. I repeat, cannot be brushed aside lightly. Para. If the Home Minister's argument is taken to its logical conclusion, it is bound to lead to absurd situation. The states of Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Kerala voted overwhelmingly against the Janata Party in the recent parliamentary election. Does that mean that does that mean that the few MPs elected from these states with Janata Party tickets have no right to sit in Parliament or to participate in the central government? Para. The Prime Minister today is charged with heavy responsibility of living up to his assurance that he would give a fair deal to all the state governments. The Working Committee still hopes that partisan considerations would not dilute or distort the basis of our federal policy. I repeat, polity. Para. At this juncture, it is the responsibility of all congressmen to unitedly meet this challenge, not only in the interests of the party, but in the broader national interest. Congressmen should immediately take steps to mobilize public opinion on the constitutional monstrosity which is attempted to be perpetrated on the people of India by the central government within a month of assuming power. Page 294, Appendix 10. AICC's statement AICC's statement after the dissolution of 9 state assemblies, 1st May 1977. The dissolution of 9 assemblies by the central government is totally undemocratic, contrary to all norms of constitutional and political propriety. It impairs the federal structure and erodes the autonomy of the states. The Janasangh always had the intention that India should have a unitary government. However, to mislead the people, their election manifesto mentions as under. Move to amend Article 356 to ensure that the power to impose President's rule in the states is not misused to benefit the ruling party or any favored faction within it. Para. This unmasks the undemocratic pretense of the Janata Party and exposes the true nature of this amalgam of various groups which do not seem to have belief in democracy. Para. The time chosen for holding the election by the Janata Party is inconvenient to the people and will deprive many of them of their right of franchise as agricultural operations and drought relief work are on in some of the states. Para. While the government ought to have devoted their full energies in combating the price rise and the drought situation, they have chosen to go in for election to serve their narrow party ends. Para 2. I repeat, page 295. It is obvious that they are trying to alter the electoral college for the presidential election for partisan purpose. Instead of combating the price rise, implementing drought relief work, and fulfilling their promises given to the government employees and the industrial labor in regard to the CDS and dearness allowance, they are now trying to divert the attention of the people from the above promise by forcing the elections. It is clear that they have not implemented their manifesto and other tall promises. Para. We should face the situation with courage and confidence. Congressmen at all levels should show unity and determination. Para. The people of India, who have already seen through their game of false promises, will give a befitting reply and will vote for and rally around the Indian National Congress, the known servant of the common man. The authoritarian and the dictatorial trends of the ruling coalition party have to be curbed by the people. Page 296, Appendix 11. Text of the resolution passed by the Congress Working Committee condemning the arrest of Indira Gandhi and that of 4 Congress leaders, 3rd October 1977. The Congress Working Committee strongly condemns the Janata Party government's action in arresting Indira Gandhi. Her arrest is politically motivated and betrays highly vindictive, revengeful attitude on the part of the government. It is an attempt by the Janata Party to sidetrack the people's attention from its total failure to, open bracket, stem the, close bracket, slide back in the economy and to arrest the price rise and the deteriorating, I repeat, deteriorating law and order situation. The Janata Party will fail to hoodwink the people by this kind of gimmickry. That a party and a government which shouts from the housetop its commitments to civil liberties and the rule of law should try to trump up such flimsy charges to malign and seek to destroy the Congress party poses a great threat to the functioning of the party system in this country. The arrest of Srimati Gandhi is a challenge to all those who cherish democratic values and the Working Committee, I repeat, and the Working Committee calls upon the people and the congressmen in particular to meet this challenge with determination, faith, and unity by organizing an effective protest through peaceful democratic methods. Para. This meeting of the Congress Working Committee condemns the vindictive and political motivative arrests I repeat, page 297. This meeting of the Congress Working Committee condemns the vindictive and politically motivated arrests, I repeat, motivated arrests of K.D. Malavia, P.C. Sethi, H.R. Gokhale, and D.P. Chattopadhyay. Para. This emergency meeting was convened at the initiative of Kamalapati ji, and the Congress President also readily agreed. Page 298. Appendix 12. Text of the resolution passed by the Congress Working Committee on the arrest of congressmen demonstrating peacefully, 4th October 1977. This meeting of the Congress Working Committee views with grave concern and anxiety the rent trend of the Janata Party government in ruthlessly launching false, frivolous, and flimsy prosecutions to humiliate the Congress and harass its leaders. The illegal, unwarranted, and unjustified arrest of Srimati Gandhi yesterday unmistakably demonstrates the extent to which the present government, I repeat, to which the present government can go in to which the present government can go in instituting motivated, malicious, malevolent complaints. The release of Indira Gandhi today by the court vindicates the stand taken by the Congress Working Committee at its meeting yesterday that her arrest was vindictive and politically motivated. The assault by the Janata Party government on our democratic values and ideals and the rule of law, particularly in putting behind bars Srimati Indira Gandhi, an ex-Prime Minister of this country and one of the acknowledged leaders of the nation, has to be resisted peacefully everywhere with all our might. In this connection, it is worth mentioning that the learned magistrate Sri Dayal, New Delhi, dealing with Indira Gandhi's case, today has categorically stated as follows. Page 299. It is obvious that the forwarding of the accused under Section 167 is founded on the existence of grounds for believing that the accusation or the information is well-founded. The fact that no prayer has been made under Section 167 indicates that even according to CBI, there was no ground for believing that the accusation is well-founded. Further, the facts that even the source has not been disclosed and no evidence, either documentary or oral, has been collected till now, further indicate that there is nothing to show the existence of such grounds. Thus, there being no reasonable ground for detention of the accused Indira Gandhi, she is released forthwith. Para. The Congress Working Committee congratulates the Congress workers and the people for their spontaneous expression of and resentment against the illegal and high-handed action of the Janta government. We condemn the repressive measures used by the government against the peaceful demonstrations in Delhi and various other parts of the country. Any unreasonable restrictions on our rights to peacefully demonstrate and express ourselves are not acceptable. Para. There has to be persistent and purposeful resistance to all attempts by the present government to misuse its police power and to misuse its police power and to turn our country into a police state. Any such attempt has to be strongly resisted. Para. This meeting, therefore, calls upon the people in general and congressmen in particular to continue to hold protest rallies and meetings culminating in the observance of the 9th October as decided earlier as, open inverted comma, Anti-Repression Day, close inverted comma.